BJJ for breakfast.
What's up, everybody? Coach Nate. I'm back with tip number 2 for my top 10 tips on how to improve your jiu-jitsu. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be doing each one of these tips in a separate video and releasing them over the next week or two. Here's tip number 2. Okay, so tip number 1 was to be consistent in your training. Tip number 2 is to focus on the fundamentals. Okay, fundamentals of jiu-jitsu are so important. I can't stress this enough, guys. So often I get brand new white belts or people 1 or 2 stripe white belts, people still early in the game, come to me with some YouTube video or an Instagram video, and they ask me to teach them some super advanced flashy move that they saw on Instagram, or they saw someone in an ADCC catch someone with something. Okay, you've got to learn to walk before you run and crawl before you walk. Okay, focus on the fundamentals. Even at the very, very, very high levels of jiu-jitsu, most of the matches are won with just basic bread and butter jiu-jitsu. Basic submissions, basic sweeps, basic takedowns, okay? Those are what will win 99% of your matches and your sparring rounds. So get good at those, okay? Once you get good at those, we can add on the other stuff, all right? So you need to get good, firstly, at positional jiu-jitsu, okay? The positioning of jiu-jitsu, taking people down, holding them down. If you've been taken down, how to escape from being held down, okay? The basics of guard, the basics of passing guard. These are what you should be focusing on first. Additionally, when it comes to submissions, focus on the fundamental submissions first before you get in all the fancy stuff, okay? Arm bars, kimuras, triangles, guillotines, Americanos, okay? These are going to be your bread and butter submissions. These you should drill and drill and drill and train and train and train until they're basically instinctual. Once you get them ingrained into your muscle memory, you can then take them and graft them into other places of your jiu-jitsu game, okay? Once you get really good at hitting arm bars from guard, you'll realize that you can hit it from other places, right? Once you get really good at hitting triangles from guard, you realize you can start hitting it from other places, okay? But you can't hit any submissions if you can't control your opponent in the position that they're in, right? Which is why positional jiu-jitsu is so important and why it should be what you focus on first, okay? Getting on top, staying on top. Or getting someone in your guard, holding them in your guard, right? Conversely, if you're in someone's guard or if someone's on top of you, you should be focusing on learning how to get out, okay? That will open up a lot of other opportunities for you in your jiu-jitsu game, right? Once you learn how to pass guard, then you can now start working on your top game, dominating people, pushing them towards positions where submissions are easier for you, that type of thing, okay? But focus on the fundamentals first, right? Spend time getting reps in on all of those things before you start jumping on every flashy move you see on Instagram or YouTube. I know that stuff is all really cool. But again, even at the high levels, guys, it's the basics of jiu-jitsu that wins matches, the basic sweeps, the basic submissions. So spend most of your energy on that stuff, and you will get the highest reward when it comes, energy input versus reward output, okay? It's like the 80-20 rule, all right? 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your effort or of your moves, right? So focus on those, and those are the fundamentals. In my school, we have basically 1 month a year. We always just circle back and go over all the fundamentals. When you spend that month just doing fundamental stuff, and I make everybody do it. Every belt, brown belt, black belt, blue belt, purple belt, I do them, okay? Because you can't practice these fundamental moves enough. It's like shooting free throws in basketball or fielding ground balls in baseball. You've got to get the fundamentals down to where it's an unconscious effort. You're not even thinking about it. Then once you have the fundamentals built, ingrained into your DNA, you can start adding all the flashy stuff on top of it, okay? But until you have the fundamentals down, adding all the flashy stuff on top is like building a house without a foundation. It's just going to fall over the first time someone gives it a push or the first time a breeze comes along. So you need to have that proper foundation in place before you start building up all your flashy moves. Okay, I know there's a tendency in the martial arts, especially early on, for people to like look for the one unstoppable move, like the domak, right? The death touch or whatever, the jiu-jitsu move that's going to let you beat anyone. Black belts, doesn't matter, okay? It's not how it works, all right? If you don't have good foundational jiu-jitsu, you'll never get to the position where you can try to do that move because they're just going to be dominating you, okay? So you got to work on the foundation first and then build on that, okay? So that's tip 2 in my 10 tip series here, which is focus on the fundamentals. Train safe out there, guys. Os.
BJJ for breakfast.